My PhD topic was on how sibling relationship, for example, male brothers and or brother sister, can modify the sexual interactions in a group. So I was working on flies, the fruit flies, as well as the chickens. And so the first Dance Your PhD that I did about my PhD was on flies, on fruit flies. And I thought that was an easy thing to relate to or portray. And therefore, for my learning experience, if we want to tell the audience about something in an art form, it has to have one simple message. You have to portray that message very clearly so that the audience can understand you. So therefore, I picked the topic on how the female fly chooses between a male and the next male that is a brother of the first male that she had mated. So that was a simple message, and we chose that topic to illustrate in our first Danza PhD. Well, it was simple, easy to relate to, and interesting behavior that could be portrayed in a dance format. Well, I think the first step is to have results. The results has to be very clear, meaning that you have done multiple experiments, your number of samples is actually high enough to conclude and make a sound conclusion. So the results have to be undebatable. We don't want to portray the wrong science. Even if you did not get any results, like, for example, if you want to show that the female might choose brothers, but you did not find that in the chickens, that's still good results as long as your sample size is large and you did your experiments properly. So I guess the first step is getting good findings from the experiment itself. Yeah, definitely. I usually use a very simple Excel sheet, really. It's very easy. It's an Excel sheet for which there's different columns saying from what time to what time and what do I want to show, what the dance moves, what the music, and what is the filming direction. So it's quite a simple table, and then you can go down each row to show at different times what do I want to show. So that is the more detailed one, I must say. But firstly, usually I see every video has 3 different acts, and then each act is broken down to different seconds. As for the music, I was lucky enough that my supervisor, he writes music on evolution and sexual behavior. And a lot of the songs actually are very relevant to what I do. But sometimes if you don't have the song, you can just use it without lyrics that is available online. And I think that's perfectly fine as long as you're sure that it fits the dance moves. So the first thing that I needed to do was to finish up the experiments on that particular topic, as well as analyze the data so that we know exactly what are the findings that we would want to show in our dance. Then secondly, thinking about the simple message that we want to relay to the public. For example, in my dance video on sperm competition, the idea here is that the brothers, the male chickens, they help each other, they fight less aggressively towards each other, and they fight more aggressively to some male that is unrelated or non-brother to the two males. However, the females are choosing the unrelated male in the group. So that was the key message that we had to portray. Working on that, I always divide my videos into 3 different acts, whereby the last part is something a little bit more surprising just to keep up the momentum. Thereafter, understanding how the whole video would look like, choreograph the dance moves based on how to showcase aggression or like the female liking a particular male. And after choreography, we usually work with a videographer to plan out what we want to see in each frame. And 5th is the editing, which can take up to 2 weeks. And usually then the video is mostly complete. I just happened to have a few dance friends, a few friends that were interested in taking videos. But to be honest, when I first started out, the very, very first video that I did was on chickens, and it wasn't about my PhD topic. It was someone else's one. We just collaborated and created a dance and choreographed the piece. The videography is done just by placing a camera at one site and just pressing play. There wasn't anyone helping us film. My friends as well, the ones that helped in the dance video, were not professional dancers. It was just a matter of training with them and doing the dance together. And it was really fun. They were not dancers. So having friends that are keen to help out in the team and really good with creating new stuff, new ideas, and bouncing off each other, and really fun to hang out with each other. One of the things that I learned is that dance can be quite abstract form of relaying information. So sometimes if you watch a dance performance, I wouldn't say that I immediately understand what the choreography or the story is about. One has to be careful, especially when using dance, that it's not about the movements being clear and nice, it's about the movements telling the story. The genre chosen is to represent what you want to portray, the emotions that we want to portray, but one needs to be careful to make it very clear so that it doesn't look as though it's so abstract that no one understands what you're trying to say. So yeah, I just think that is probably the disadvantage of choosing dance, because you don't say anything, you can't say anything, there's nothing that you can say or act out. You just have to use your movements to show concept, and that is can be done easily, but also can be difficult because sometimes you don't the audience cannot understand what you're trying to say. One of the main advantage of communicating science using the arts is that it caters to a wider range of audience. You actually reach out to a wider public, like people who are not actually specialized or needs to know a lot about what you do. I've seen that kids themselves or people who are not science, they understand what I do because it's relatable. Music, dance, these are universal languages. Like 10 years ago, maybe these type of art forms are not usually used to portray science. Now they are becoming more and more popular. It's a situation that which you can promote science and arts together. I've recently moved on from dance to using games that I create to communicate science. For example, one of my games is about deploying cameras in the forest and obtaining data on clouded leopards so as to understand how many there are in the forest. So the game teaches the process of how to do things in real life. Then I also now are creating theater as well, so as to engage the audience. We use acting. We show how clouded leopards in Malaysia are suffering from deforestation and hunting through interactive theater where the audience is able to make decisions for the actors, and the result or the final bit of the play, whether the clouded leopard dies or not, depends on what is chose. So there are up and coming really exciting formats to play science. I think there's an interesting person called Jody Shapiro, who is directing Green Porno. It's a series of short films on animal sexual behavior. I think she does a very good job in illustrating how different animals have sex. And Green Porno is my first recommendation. It's hilarious. The Wild True Game video, for which I'm not sure if you have seen it, but that video was filmed and edited by my friend Laurie Hedges, and he currently is creating films for conservation, and he uses either animation or real footage. So, and also another one, Amy Hong, who has helped me with the Ulu Movita video, the sperm competition video, or her works are amazing because she also does a lot on science communication and using videos as a platform.